Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Ananda, the Galactic Mystic, and this is Navigational Astrology, and we are here to talk about our Capricorn Full Super Moon. Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome. We have a lot to talk about. Big shout out to my subscriber family. I love you guys. Welcome. If you are new here, pull up a chair, get comfy. We have a lot to talk about today. On this channel, I talk about astrology, mysticism, folk magic, navigating this world that we're in with consciousness, conscious relationships, and just evolving as a human, man. That's like all we can do. If you enjoy this type of content, I invite you to join us at my private community, the Deep Divers community, where we are doing basic training for the family mystic, getting together, learning together. This is where I will be doing most of my teaching in the future and where I'm doing my daily astrology posts. So times are weird. We're at a place in human history, in human experience, where we have never been before. And I just want to start by saying that it's more and more important that we learn how to manage our energy. And by energy, I mean the way that our bodies are processing all that they are being bombarded with. Other people's emotions, our own emotions. Emotions. Sorry. Oh, I think words are really funny. Anyway, our emotions, we are being bombarded with so much from the narratives on social media, the news, the changes that we are going through. And I'll tell you, you won't hear me say things like 5D and, ascension, new earth. I'm not interested in those things. What I'm interested in is the evolution of humankind. And that's what we are experiencing. And it's not an easy process. It's tumultuous, it's challenging. And at each step, we are at a place that we've never been. And so it's more and more important that we are kind to ourselves, that we take good care, and that we are disciplined in what we give our energy to. Disciplined in what we intake with our eyes, with our bodies, etc. Along that same vein, this is a Capricorn full supermoon. In navigational astrology, the axis of Cancer and Capricorn is the axis of presence. And this encompasses our deepest emotional selves, our deepest psychology, the deepest part of us, how we are present with our homes and families. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, how we are present for our highest potential, our ambitions, the thing that we are trying to do. So because this is a full moon, something is coming full circle. There is a harvest right around the corner and a completion. Sometimes this feels wonderful. Sometimes this feels stressful. And sometimes it's both. Our new moon in Cancer that we had on June 28th, that was the moon of the turning point, where we choose which way we're going to go. And there were a lot of things in our world that, on the world stage that sort of fell under that. But it also pertains to our own lives. Which way are we going to go? So which path did you choose? I bet you chose something new, something specific. And this full moon is going to wrap up something pertaining to that axis of presence, our personal, private presence, and our public, divine soul assignment presence. I've been saying this a lot lately, and I'm going to say it again. If you have something to offer the world that is good and you are holding back, it is time to let us have you. It's time to let us see you. If you need help with that, visit my website and book a reading. There's incredible work we can do together around that. Okay. So I'm going to bring up the chart so you can see what I see as I'm talking through this. Okay, so here we have our Capricorn full super moon that is happening on July 13th, 2022 at 2:37 p.m. and this is Eastern Standard Time. So right down here, we have our Capricorn moon opposing the sun. A full moon is always a sun-moon opposition at 22 degrees and 21 minutes. And in a certain degree theory called world degrees that I learned from astrologer Annie Ortley, this is pretty close. It's about a degree and less than 30 minutes from the world degree. And basically, it means that things that occur during this full moon will affect the world or will be noticed by the world. This is, of course, on the world stage, the out there of the astrology that I'll be talking about. And, honestly, there are so many things that could happen right now that could affect all of us. I'm not even surprised that we have this full moon, which is conjunct Pluto at a world degree. So let's talk about that. Pluto here, conjunct this new moon. This is a volcanic situation. It's emotionally volcanic. And that's why that's one of the reasons. There are actually many reasons that we will go over. This is one of the reasons why I'm calling this the moon of the open-hearted, because when things are tumultuous to this potential degree, sometimes we want to close our hearts. And this is a Capricorn moon, which is a serious, sort of responsible moon. This is not the type of moon that naturally, leans into emotion. It's more like, all right, let's pull up our socks. Let's, put on our tool belts and let's get to work. No time for tears. So this is a message about how important it is to not self-reject our own volcanic emotions that may come up. Now, our ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, is here in Aquarius. Now, this is really interesting because this speaks of, feeling at odds with society, with groups, with the structures in our world, feeling outside of that, feeling mistrustful and cynical of where things are going. So, I think we're all kind of feeling that. We have a beautiful, supportive trine with this situation here, Uranus in the North Node. Now, I have to talk about this for a minute because Uranus is going to be closely conjunct the North Node all through August. And this entire period of time from now until then we're going to have a lot of surprises. When Uranus is in the room, things can go, anything can happen, and things we don't expect, things that are shocking and, make us feel shock and awe. Now, towards the end of the month, when we have our new moon, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node are all going to be conjunct. And when Mars and Uranus meet up in conjunction, this happens like once every 2 years. This is like explosions, fires, both literally and metaphorically. And if you look at the news feed, even if nothing major happens that day, if you look at the news, you will see more things than usual about fires and explosions. And, you know, this is also volcanic. This is another volcanic aspect that, you know, Mars is on the edges here for this full moon, but this is coming later July and in August. But anyway, back to this trine with the full moon. Again, this is another just urging you. If there, just take those steps. Take those steps. There are so many people newly awakening right now that we really need all hands on deck. It takes all of us to get through this, shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm. And if you have something to offer that can help someone, stop hoarding it. That's the end of my lecture on that. But seriously, do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing if it feels inspiring to your future vision, and if it's something different that you've never done before. If it ticks those boxes and you feel the yes deep within your guts, then do it. Do it, do it, do it. So we also have both Mercury and asteroid goddess Ceres opposing this full moon. And Ceres is very, you know, pretty closely opposing Pluto as well. So this situation brings up issues of literal food, literal nurturing. Ceres is the goddess, like her name, Ceres, is the basis of the word cereal. She's literally a harvest goddess, a grain goddess. She has to do with nurturing food, both literally and metaphorically. And I think of her as a co-ruler of Cancer with the moon. So her presence here tells me that on the world stage, we may be hearing things about food, about the food supply, this may bring up those trust issues that Saturn is speaking of, those cynical issues. And with Mercury here, this is bringing to our consciousness the awareness that we need to be talking about deeper issues. And let me just say that everything I'm saying can apply to world events, to the world stage, but also in our individual private lives. I'm feeling a lot of presence from spirit as I'm recording this video, which the level that I'm feeling it is unusual. And so, well, unusual for when I'm recording. And so I just want to mention that. That tells me that this is really something important, something big is happening here. These changes. And speaking of those changes, you know, we just had the second Pluto return of the United States, and this is the retrograde one. So we had our first pass that was direct, Pluto went retrograde, has gone back to the place where Pluto was when the Declaration of Independence was signed. And this signifies tumultuous change. And there's no doubt, we all know we're experiencing this. And we will have another pass. So we're deep in it. We are deep in it. The second pass happened on the 10th. And so Pluto is really showing out right now. It's interesting to note that because Pluto is conjunct the United States Pluto, that this full moon is also conjunct the United States Pluto. So all that I'm saying has a very specific message for our country as well. We still have the asteroid Karma conjunct the South Node. This is so like the South Node is karmic, asteroid Karma, and this has been here for a while. It will be. So it just sort of enhances this karmic Pluto return of the United States, the karmic situation we are all collectively experiencing. It's just a confirmation that yes, what we are going through is a correction. It's things being made right. Even if it doesn't look like it or feel like it in the moment, Karma is also exactly opposing Uranus, and it's just all up in this whole situation. So, you know, we know. We also have a square with Chiron, who is here. He is squaring both the sun and the moon and Mercury. And so this is really a motivation, a challenge, calling us to heal. Chiron is where our spirit meets our body. He is where we hold some of our psychic wounds of rejection. And he is a powerful, powerful healer. And this square, he's really making a T square with these planets. And so this is a tense situation asking us to heal issues around our self-identity, around feminine issues, mothering, mothers, our family, nurturing, feeding, literal and metaphorical, and how we think of ourselves, not just our self-identity, but our self-talk. What do we say to ourselves? Know that every cell in your body is alive and hears everything you say to yourself and think to yourself. It's a little bit humbling, isn't it? I needed that reminder as well. So a T square, this T square with Chiron, T squares always come with guidance, and our guidance here is to remember that we are sacred, divinitize our bodies, divinitize ourselves, and seek harmony and balance only under the conditions that it requires zero self-sacrifice. We're looking for win-win situations here. We're not looking for an imbalance in giving and receiving. Now, while I'm talking about sort of this area of the chart here, I want to talk about this very interesting aspect pattern right here, involving Jupiter, the North Node and Uranus, and Saturn, okay? Now, I've actually never seen or heard any astrologer talk about this aspect pattern, okay? So I'm talking about the square here, and then you see these dotted black lines here. So Jupiter is making a semi-square with Saturn and Uranus and the North Node. So we have two semi-squares and then this square with Saturn and these two. And I'm calling this a hard eye. I just made that up. But since I'm naming it, that's what it's going to be called, a hard eye. Okay, so what happens here? A semi-square is, it's a challenging aspect, but it's one that's easier to ignore. It's like those challenges that we were like, oh, hey, challenge, I'm going to just push you under the rug again. They're easier to ignore, and so they build momentum sneakily. Sneaky momentum, okay? Eventually they come to a head though. sometimes they can be running in the background unconsciously. And then when they finally come to a head, that's when we become aware of them, right? Where we can no longer sweep them under the rug. Now, this square with the nodes and Saturn we've had for a while, and this has been a rough one. This is like challenges and blockages, but still motivation, but it's challenging us to push through. Now, Jupiter in Aries speaks of like, okay, we believe that anyone who tries hard enough, who gets up every day and gives the world their best will achieve. If you try hard enough, you can do it, right? That's what Jupiter in Aries speaks of. This is leadership ability, pioneering energy, like getting out there and getting it done. And if you keep going, it's going to work out. So what's happening here is this hard eye is creating a situation where that belief is going to be challenged. Think about that. We have Saturn here where we're feeling cynical and mistrustful. I don't know if that's a word, but we're not feeling trusting of the systems with groups. And then we have this, our future, where we're going, a new future. Uranus in the North Node is a new future, one we can't even fathom. And so this hard eye is creating a challenge to our fundamental belief that if we keep going, we will get there. And that's a hard thing to deal with, isn't it? Now, our ruler, the guidance here, our ruler of Aries, Mars, is here in Taurus. And his guidance here is like, slow down, focus on the present moment, focus on our bodies, and let's just let these reserve tanks fill up. Mars doesn't love being in Taurus, but I happen to love the energy of Mars in Taurus because it's sensual, it's sexy, it's grounded, and it's a little bit smoldery. It's a little simmery, which can be like outbursty with anger stuff if we're not being conscious about it. But ultimately, it's a type of energy that gets us through. So Mars is encouraging us that even if we slow down, even if we have to take a pause, wait for divine timing, even if things don't look like they're going the way we want them to go, Aries is impatient. We want it go, go, go. But Aries is not a closer. Aries is not meant to complete things necessarily. Mars and Taurus kind of gives us some of that energy to complete things, but only if we slow down. Present moment, stay in your body, focus on things that are real and tangible, staying calm, focusing on this whole North Node in Taurus, which is the best guidance for this period of time that we're in, to remain calm. Don't get stuck in the drama. Keep your faith that we can do this. We did just have our sun's alignment with our spiritual sun, Sirius, and its opposition with the star of the ancients, Vega. And that is such a beautiful, protective, supportive, spiritually activating energy. And, this period of time from the sun's conjunction with Sirius, which happened on July 6th, this whole period of time from then until I think it's August 12th, which is the heliacal rising of Sirius. I don't know if I'm saying that word wrong. I mispronounce it all the time. The heliacal rising of Sirius is when she appears on the horizon for the first time after a period of time being absent from the night sky. And Sirius is our brightest star in the night sky, so we notice when she's there and when she's not there. And the ancients noticed this as well. Sirius has been revered by basically every ancient culture in existence and continues to be a guide for us now. Now, The heliacal rising of Sirius, which, like I said, I believe is on August 12th, but it depends on your location. It's dependent on latitude. And that's just a special thing to witness if you're able to. And I'll probably be talking about that later on. Now, speaking of Vega, who is in the constellation Lyra, our full moon in Capricorn is conjunct the fixed star Sulafat. Now, this is a beautiful energy for a fixed star. This is an energy that is patient, gentle, enduring. It may lead us to be a little alone, which is, solitude. Capricorn does kind of like solitude sometimes. Introspective, but also enthusiastic and appreciative of things like beauty and culture. This is emotional and intuitive. Again, another hint towards this being the moon of the open-hearted. Our romantic relationships can be a really good source of inspiration in our lives right now. And honestly, our closest relationships are truly needing to be cared for and nurtured at this time. Now, the word Sulafat is Arabic for tortoise. And the tortoise is the creature that Hermes fashioned the first lyre from. And, the turtles are sacred in Native American cultures. They are representative of the Great Mother of the Earth, and they carry the energy of stability, patience, again, longevity, introspection, but also the idea that our home is within. And because this is in the axis of presence, which involves our home and our private world, if we have this knowledge that our home is within, we're a lot more stable. We're a lot stronger on the inside. And that's what we need right now, that inner fortitude. So Turtle comes to us with these messages of strength and support, such an ancient energy. So if you are a turtle person, or if a turtle is one of your spirit animals, really, really connect with her right now. Now, a really powerful energy present. And of course, it never ceases to amaze me how the themes and the messages support each other. They weave this story of being open-hearted and not allowing pain and suffering to close off our heart centers, right? So I want to talk to you about the centaur hylonome. Now, again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Most of these words I have never heard another person speak out loud. So anyway, hylonome is an asteroid. She's a centaur, and she is very, very tightly conjunct this full moon by 12 minutes. This is the closest, I believe, the tightest aspect we have, and thus the loudest energy present. She is in complete synthesis with this full moon. Now, all of the centaurs relate to spirit and body, and hylonome has a very sacred role. She shows up. We can call on her or look at where she is in the charts whenever there is loss of life, failures, things not, things not going the way we want them to the point that it overrides our sense of hope. Now, isn't that interesting with the hard eye with Jupiter, with Pluto, this volcanic energy, all of this? Any type of loss that feels overwhelming, hylonome is like the healer for that. When we lose a relationship that we didn't want to lose, whenever we are grieving the loss of anything or anyone. Now, hylonome lost her mate during, a fight amongst the centaurs, and she was so distressed and unwilling, like totally refused to deal with his loss, that she just fell on a spear. And so her presence is not one of hopelessness, but instead the support to overcome any type of mountain that is insurmountable relating to our grief. She is actually a beacon of hope in darkness and loss, and she encourages grief, however painful. We cannot close our hearts. She promises that if you allow yourself to feel all of those scary feelings and you don't reject them, that you will in time feel relief. She is a grief counselor. And in that role, she offers hope and encouragement, and ultimately acceptance of us when we are in that state where we just don't know if our grief will ever end. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Like, I'm literally not experiencing any types of those losses right now, but maybe I'm feeling your emotions, or just this emotional situation we are all in. So hylonome begs us to not close our hearts, to love and allow, love into all of those spaces of grief within, and to allow the emotions, as volcanic as they may be, to come, to witness them, so that we don't fall on the sword of our grief. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you, which is so crazy cool to me, this I don't know, I think it's really cool, and I think you are too. So sometimes I work with black holes and space phenomena. And this moon is very tightly conjunct a black hole star combo. I'll put their numbers, they don't have sexy names, but I'll put their numbers on the screen here for you to see. So the function of black holes in astrology, they refer to our unavoidable destiny. And they unconsciously seek to draw out things that fulfill our destiny. They hold great impact. Now, this black hole is really, really unique. When it was monitored by researchers, they noticed that this black hole, GRS 1915, gave off short, bright pulses of X-ray light in a rhythmic cycle that closely resembles an electrocardiogram of a human heart. At a slower pace, but as you can see on this picture, that looks exactly like the beating of a human heart. Now, what's interesting about this black hole and this heartbeat is that these pulses or heartbeats are what control how much material the black hole consumes. I mean, I can't get over the metaphor there. Allowing our hearts to remain open comes with the divine assignment of discernment. With discernment, we can live open-heartedly. And this is literally the message from the actual cosmos. So the last thing I want to do is read to you the Chandra symbol for Capricorn 22. When we're looking at degrees, whether it be Chandra symbols or Sabian symbols, we don't look at the degree, we look at the degree forward. For example, this is 21 degrees and 21 minutes, and the Chandra symbol for Capricorn 22 encompasses that. I hope that makes sense. We don't look at 21, we look at 22. Anyway, okay. Capricorn 22, a bare altar covered with black velvet. Death is a force that brings into earth something from beyond, and this something is the X factor in the human equation. Your own previous deaths as major signposts which hold you to your noblest and most surrendered ways of being. Mortality has spoken. Immortality arises from the ashes. A threshold awareness that hugs the edge between the worlds and bows before a God who presides over the living and the dead. You stride across worlds in tune with myriad frequencies and are quite able to make way for the unknown, the infinite, the other side of life. A fiercely held intention to bow before what is truly, a fiercely held intention to bow before what truly is and fall for nothing less, no matter how attractive or appealing. I can't make this stuff up. Again, the guidance that no matter what we are grieving, no matter what we experience, bow before what truly is and fall for nothing less, no matter how attractive or appealing. So this is a call for rejection, to reject escapism, to reject lying to ourselves, to be present with what is, to give ourselves the trust that we can handle it. We can look at what is in the face with an open heart. And even if we fall to our knees, somebody is going to be standing next to us to either fall with us so we can lean on each other or to help us up because we're in this together. Open-hearted living. So thank you so much for spending some of this time with me. It's a really, really powerful full moon. And I hope that it is amazing for you. We're in this together, and I will see you very soon.